Greetings and salutations, Focus Up family. Welcome to the March 21st, 2026 installment of the Focus Up Show. We thank you for tuning in with us live or Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on YouTube and various other platforms, or catching up with us on replay. And we ask that you click that like, that subscribe, that bell, and share to support and maintain your weekly Focus Up fix. I am Mr. Nice Guy, nice as in the word state spelled backwards. And today, my co-hosts are, we got Student X, live from the dojo, star of Mutant Politics and contributor to Objective Deconstruction. We got Afro Agnostics, star of those videos, those social media videos on Afro Agnostics, and also co-star of Objective Deconstruction, which we will have today. We may not have Student X, but we're going to talk about America first. And then we got Brother Walk, star of Sex Talk with Walk, Thursday at 9 p.m., and co-star of Street Focus on Sundays at 6 p.m. So let me just, I'm a little bit used to this order, so I'm gonna slide you over there, Brother Walk. What's going on with you, sir? I see you're muted, but what's going on with you, brother?
Oh, what's up? Good morning, fellas. I am ready to rock and roll, feeling good. Had a good rest last night. That's unusual, man. Hey. Check this out. When you get over the age of 45, you'll take a good night's sleep over some yeah.
Real talk. And I'm just giving you a heads up, Student X. You're muted as well. But what's going on with you, brother Afro Agnostics?
Well, I'm good. And I know I can relate to what he's saying. I was up late last night myself. But me and my girl too, we were watching of all movies, Purple Rain. And that movie is so misogynistic, so patriarchal.
That's a movie, man. Stop it, brother.
No, let me just tell you this real quick. Prince was a complete asshole in that movie, a complete asshole, an abuser. But anyway, long story, what tripped me out is that this dude was homophobic. This dude was, in the beginning, he's putting on eyeliner. He was a homophobe. He got fans that are homophobes. This dude was completely androgynous, man. Like, anyway,
that's Walk is killing me over there, man. I feel it. I feel what you said. Man, Student X, you're muted, but go ahead, brother. What's going on with you, sir?
I don't know what's going on with that mute button, brother. You know what I mean? But it is what it is.
That's nuts.
Yeah. But no, man, I just want to man, I'm glad to be here as always. And man, let me tell you, man, I know you guys are going to be talking about this subject, American First, later on, man. But shout out to Tucker for a hard hinting interview with Joe Kent, man. I mean, I just, before he went anywhere, he showed up on that platform, and it was a thorough, a very revealing, for regardless of class, creed, color. If you live here in America, it was relevant, so man, shout out to Tucker, but also shout out to the soldiers engaged in the civil disobedience, like clogging up their toilets and setting fires up in the kitchen. They don't want to deal with this war at all. You know what I'm saying? And it's deeply disturbing that none of these military officers have resigned in protest over this war yet. So,
and top of the morning to Focus Up founding member. Shout out to you, brother. He's right off the beginning, top of the AM. That's what's up. So that having been said, we don't have Mr. Floyd X today. So we don't got the boss man. We don't got infamous El Poo. Infamous El Poo is taking care of some stuff. No First Lady J, no AB. So we're a little bit on a skeleton crew today, but we're gonna hold it down. So let's get to the get. First thing up. Let's talk about, and I apologize. I'm gonna be a little bit slow doing the producing as well. So let me pull this up. R.I.P. to a legend, a martial arts legend, and honestly, a action hero legend, Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris, the martial artist and action movie icon whose toughness became an increasingly exaggerated legend among his adoring fans, has died. He was 86. His family had confirmed on March 19. They said it was with a heavy hearts that our family shares the sudden passing of our beloved Chuck Norris yesterday morning. We like to keep the circumstances private. Please know that he was surrounded by family and was at peace. Ouch. Hopefully somebody's okay. Hopefully somebody's okay over there. To the world, he was the martial artist, actor, and symbol of strength, to us, he was a devoted husband, he was a father, a grandfather, an incredible brother, and the heart of our family. So I will say that, politically, he kind of ended up in a different place. But, I always try to say that, look, at the end of the day, we all peoples. It's not about our differences. Sometimes it's about our similarities. And, just the fact that the role that he played, in the Bruce Lee movie, and even in Bruce Lee's life. I remember watching an interview where he was talking about how he would be sparring and training with Bruce Lee. And he said Bruce Lee wasn't a big kicker above the weight. You know what I'm saying? But I was, sort of like showing him how it could be useful. And, he adapted it. So, I mean, there was a person who gave and got. And, at the end of the day, that fight scene with Bruce Lee. And let me see, what was that? That was I don't remember which one that was. But that was an amazing fight scene.
Into the Dragon.
No, it wasn't Into the Dragon.
Oh, the Way of the Dragon.
Yes, The Way of the Dragon. Yeah.
Somewhat a dragon.
Had Kareem in it. Yeah.
Yeah, and the Coliseum. Well, yeah. Into the Dragon is
Oh yeah, that was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
No. Kareem, that was Game of Death. Y'all messing all of this stuff up. Anyway.
I messed it
Sure.
So, anyways, but rest in peace to Chuck. I almost called him Chuck Chill Out. Sorry about that, but that's what's up. So I'm gonna let you.
Hold on.
I'm gonna let you speak on. I know. I'm just taking this picture off the face.
Wrapping that up.
No. I'm wrapping up my part. Go ahead, Walk.
Chuck Norris, man. Chuck Norris grew up with that guy my whole life. But my favorite movie of his, of course, was Lone Wolf McQuade in 1983. That was the one. He was kicking butt in there. He was like a sheriff or something in Mexico, kicking butt, and it was great. He died, but I love the Chuck Norris isms. Remember the jokes to Chuck Norris? Chuck Norris doesn't sleep; he waits. Chuck Norris doesn't do push-up; he moves the earth up and down. You know what I mean? So salute to that man, Chuck Norris, and that's rock and roll, baby. That's what it's about. We live and we die. That's what's good.
Go ahead, Afro Agnostics. I'm sure you got something to say about the legend of Chuck Norris.
We've had, childhood memories of him attached to him in the same way Hulk Hogan. I mean, I think he even precedes Hulk Hogan as far as his fame and his Hollywood fame. But, as it says, I think in the Bible, when I was a child, I thought as a child, now I'm an adult. And I kind of look at him. He described himself. This is a quote: as a conservative, as a conservative, real flag waver, and a big Ronald Reagan fan. I mean, that's everything I hate. That's a political enemy of mine. I have really nothing good to say about him. Was he talented? Of course, but I think he appropriated Asian culture, Korean culture, while actively on military duty to keep North and South Korea divided. He was a birther. Which is part of the American First movement. He was against Prop 8. He targeted Black people, targeted other religions other than his traditional Christianity. And he was extremely pro-Israel. I mean, there are videos with him and Netanyahu. They really close friends, and he pledged his support to the end. He'll never, until the day that he died, he was a big Israel supporter.
So that's what's up.
But
So let's do the next. You got something to say about the legend Chuck Norris?
I mean, I learned about the Israel ties later. You know what I mean? And you know how I feel about all that. But a little known fact: his real name is Carlos. That's he got Chuck. Inside the service, so they start calling him. He's not Hispanic. A white dude. He's just English, Irish, so-called. I got some Cherokee, you know what I mean? But yeah, you know what I mean? That kind of threw me off a little bit, but it definitely highly disciplined, and started his own karate form as well too. A master of Tang Sudo, which is karate, if you will. So that's about all I got to say about him.
For every one Chuck Norris, there are like 20 Asian folks with the same skills, but they can't get on.
Rest in peace, Chuck Norris. Rest in peace, Chuck Norris. So no.
Don't forget, karate come from Black people too. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't know. Ka, Ra, Te. You know what I mean? Is in there. You know what I mean? So You know, it's
And that's
you know,
that's the Afrocentric etymology, though. I understand what you said. I know about. It's a lot of magical stuff in Afrocentricity as well, but we can talk about it.
So, and we rest in peace, Chuck Norris. Rest in peace to Kiki Shepard. You know, we read this about this beautiful sister. Kiki Shepard, the longtime host of Showtime at the Apollo, has died. She was 74. Shep's rep confirmed that she suffered a heart attack on Monday. It is the statement that they had was, "It is with profound sadness that we announce the unexpected passing of our beloved Kiki Shepard, cherished sister, auntie, friend, and unwavering advocate of those living with sickle cell disease," her family said in a statement on social media. So we thank everyone for the outpouring of love, prayers, and support during this incredibly difficult time. So yes, Showtime at the Apollo was a big show in my youth growing up, and you know, her and you know, Sinbad and all of that stuff, and black people mercilessly booing people that didn't come with it. You know, that was a big part of my upgrowing. I appreciate it. Beautiful sister, and rest in peace. What you got to say about this? Oh, and you know, when I was looking at her resume, I noticed that she was uncredited. She was part of the Wiz, so you know, that's another legendary thing. But go ahead, brother Walt.
But she was credited in a lot of different movies. She was in Thunder of Paradise, Rage in Harlem. I don't remember her in Rage in Harlem, but I haven't seen that movie in so many years. Probably just played herself. She was in the Cotton Club, Black Jack Christmas. That sounds like a B movie right there. But she did a whole bunch of movies, and she was even in Grey's Anatomy. She was a beautiful black sister from Tyler, Texas. Tyler, Texas, that's close to Longview. I got a lot of people in Longview, Texas out there. But yeah, she did her thing. She was just, you know, she died. Hey, that's a good age to go. I don't want to keep saying it like that, but come on, man. Nobody lives forever, man. But she was a beautiful woman and lived a beautiful life. Rest in peace, Kiki Shepard.
Afro Agnostics, do you remember Kiki Shepard?
Oh, absolutely. And just reminded me, all you Californians are Texans. You know
from somewhere else, that's for sure.
Yeah. But,
when I was younger, most of us were from somewhere else. Now people are growing up actually from here. But go ahead, brother.
That's true. Yeah, no, you brought up memories, man. That's so iconic, man. The Sinbad, the Sandman, all that. That's our Generation X thing that we, you know, recall. I mean, she was just elegant and poised. You know, everybody had a little crush on her and everything, and yeah, just kind of I kind of forgot about her, you know what I'm saying, until this death came about. But you brought up the sickle cell thing. You know, the Black Panther Party were the first to do mass sickle cell treatments for black people. They incorporated doctors because, you know, they wouldn't, the medical establishment wouldn't put money into it because it was considered a black disease. So I wonder if she was a recipient of that. You mentioned she had sickle cell, so it's one of my students had sickle cell, man. It's very debilitating. Can be.
Yeah, that sucks. So, you know, that having been said, I guess let's pivot on now. I know the Student X has got some time constraints, so we're gonna shuffle some topics.
No, we're good, brother. We're good.
We're good.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so well, you just said nothing but a thing, so we're just gonna go in the order that I have this stuff up. Okay, did anybody see the Oscars? I usually never watch the Oscars. You know what I'm saying? I kind of have a marginal interest in how it plays out. But my wife had it on, so I actually sat down and watched it. You know, I was relatively entertained by it. You know, I thought that they had a dope live performance. The center segment, that was dope. But you know, what you got to say about the Oscars, brother Walt?
Did they have a Tourette's moment when my brother won all them awards? Did they do that again? Because that was planned. But yeah, we know what happened. Sinners was the big winner. And rightfully so. That was a great, terrific movie. Yeah, I didn't really watch it. I'm not really into that.
Yeah, what's up, Afro Agnostics? What you got to say about this? If
anything? I don't know a lot about it. I keep hearing that it somehow is being attached to Black excellence. So I think Sinners and what's the sister that sings that's in the movie that was nominated Best Film of the Year? Tiana Taylor. I mean, the singer.
Tiana Taylor. Yeah,
Tiana Taylor.
She actually had a song. She had a song for that movie.
Oh, she was actually acting in it.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
acting in it. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
I
One
heard a
war
similar
after another.
Halle Berry and Monster, which I haven't seen myself either. But
Oh, man.
stereotypical promiscuous sister that that type of betrayal and who needs some time. I don't know, but anyway, it won Film of the Year. I heard in the Sinners thing, of course, that Walt mentioned.
Yeah, she didn't win it. I don't think she won anything, but yeah, and it was that movie was about basically like revolutionary, stuff, and things, and I mean there was a lot of stuff going on in that movie, but
that movie sucked. That movie sucked. I couldn't believe it was even up for an Oscar. I watched it. I went to sleep on it. I woke up, rewound it. I watched the whole thing with Leonardo DiCaprio. It was confusing. Yeah. It was silly. It was unbelievable. I don't even know how we got up for an Oscar.
I couldn't even figure it out from the trailer. Just looking at the trailer, like, what is this movie about?
So what it's about is post-Civil War in the United States.
Post-Civil, like from the Civil War, 19th century?
No, like they're saying, like, basically the like where we're at right now. I believe I haven't watched it yet because it looks stupid to me too. But from my understanding is that
let me stop you right there. Since you said you didn't see it, let me okay. So this movie is about these revolutionary youngsters, you know what I'm saying, that they were for the cause, like they were left-wing, far left-wing, radical left-wing revolutionaries that basically catch the eye of the establishment, and then it's basically this movie is about the establishment hunting them down. Okay, so that's really what it's about. So I thought it was actually a solid movie.
I gotta watch it now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I found this to be a very entertaining movie. So I'll leave it there. I don't want to spoil it.
So it had nothing to do with like a post-Civil War type of situation, because that's how it was being explained to me.
Yeah, no, it's modern time. It's basically like just consider.
No, I'm saying now, like a Civil War from where we're at here now.
Well, no, but it's like regular. It's like consider like the 60s and the 70s where they had like a lot of the revolutionary stuff like that. So yeah, the Panthers and all of that. So these people were basically out of that movement, keeping it going. So they did a whole bunch of stuff, and then it was basically about the government.
So they were kind of like the Weather Underground.
Yeah,
yes, right. Exactly.
It was kind of hiding in the open a little, but they still was on the low key. Come on, man, Sinners. We get distracted with that goofy ass movie, man.
Hey, well, Student X, you weren't a big fan of Sinners, as I recall.
Yeah, bro. I'm still confused. It got me wanting to watch it again, just thinking there's something wrong with me. You know what I'm saying? Because my wife, she fell asleep on it. She don't like it. I don't like it. And then I thought it was gonna be a vampire movie, and I guess it's supposed to be kind of is, but it didn't grab me.
It's a vampire movie. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, it didn't grab me, but I love vampire movies. I love the brother as an actor, you know what I mean? But I didn't like the movie, you know what I mean? So, but I'm willing to watch it again since it's getting all these awards. Maybe I was just tired, that night, or I don't know.
Pretend like I'm not recommending this to you because of what you just said. But if you have not seen Midnight Mass, go check that out. It's a series.
Yeah, you told me to go watch that, and we watched it because we were, we watched it.
Yeah. So anyway, so that having been said, there was some people some black people, some people of others, I guess not just straight white people getting awards and whatnot. And I guess that movie One Battle After Another. Mm-hmm. That's the dude that wrote that was the dude that's married to the sister from Saturday Night Live. I forgot her name, but she's the daughter of
to my
yeah, exactly. I know I'm missing everybody's name. Just loving you, but yeah,
loving you. It's easy because you're look at what brain's going. Go ahead, Bart.
So all right, so let's move it along. So that having been said, okay. Maya Angelou, sorry. So Maya Angelou is the daughter, and her mother, forgot what her name is, but classic sister who died unfortunately, of like maybe cancer or something like that. It's terrible. So that having been said, let me see what we have up next. So that was Oscars. Oh, we talk about brother Afroman beating his case. Now I wish we could have had that video. The break the day did an amazing breakdown on this whole situation. But the bottom line is these cats broke into his house, busting in his house for some type of raid, didn't find nothing, just messed his stuff up. And he took it and flipped it and made a video of it, was clowning them, doing all type of disrespectful stuff. They got mad, they sued him for defamation, and they lost. And I mean, it's some hilarious, childish, petty stuff. But salute to that brother. You got something to say about this, brother Walk?
Oh, of course. I mean, what he did was he made satire about a lot of the videos of them actually in his house tearing his shit up, and he said it was some money missing. He had like $5,000 in the cut, and he said like $452 was missing or something like that. And he defended himself. He basically, that's why he wore that suit with the American flag representing, baby, of course. Because this is America, and they did him wrong. That was they raided for no damn reason, didn't find nothing illegal. But some are saying that the reason they did that was get back from when he punched that white lady on stage like about 5-6 years ago, because he got away with that where he just had to pay a fine and paid her some money. But maybe they probably had a hit out on him for that. Let's get this dude, because he living in the heart of America up there in Ohio. But but salute to Afroman. Good brother. Yeah.
So what's up? You got something to say about this brother Afro Agnostics?
Yeah, I appreciate the salutes. That was, I like what he said. He kind of summed it up. The video you sent, I think, was really good.
Man, I wish I could have played that.
He has the right. He has the right to kick his can in his own backyard and turn that bad time into a good time. And I think it really just kind of speaks to the power of video, the power of art, ingenuity, and how you can use that to fight against the people that oppress you, that went in your home and embarrassed you in front of your kids and did all that. I think it was good. I think he used it as a show, a case trial. It was a show. It was a stage for him. You know what I'm saying? Like Walk said, he had on the American flag suit. And on top of that, he had a white fur. So that was good marketing. Now we're interested in him. Now we want to look up his songs again. I think he's probably going to be dropping. And that lemon cake, that was hilarious, man. Like, that lemon cake, man. He killed.
And the lady was crying, like, was complaining. Of course, she crying, and he talking all like crazy stuff.
No. He's sitting there talking about, so he's like, I basically did the Tupac Biggie, basically I had sex with your wife. So they literally are asking him on the stage, did he have sex with your wife? He goes, I don't know. Oh man, Mr. Student Next, you got something to say about this?
Nah, man, y'all said it all, man. Just salute to the brother, you know what I mean? Brother, cold-blooded, and I love the fact he represented. I wish he could have won some money, you know what I mean? But like on a countersuit, but hey.
This promo is money, so
right,
straight up. Yeah. The detention.
Yeah, that's what's up. So, there's another instance. I wish I had some video. Brother Ray J. Now, again, I respect, a brother taking up for his sister, but I don't know if, I really don't have the context of what the brothers were saying. Shine. It was, who was it? It was
Shine, Mace, Camera.
Yeah, exactly. So they were just kind of matter-of-factly talking about something in the past. I didn't feel like they were necessarily disrespecting Brandy. But they just they made their comments, and this brother came out all super pumped up, talking about raping him and having sex with him and stuff like that.
Damn.
Yeah, he was like on some super weirdo stuff. Hey, Walk, go ahead. You got something to say about this?
Well, basically they was just reflecting Cameron and Shine. They was basically smashing Brandy around the same time. See, that's why you ladies, y'all gotta roll correctly and not be thotting out there. See, that's what it is. Ray J was mad at his sister was out in them streets, but she was supposed to be like some good girl, Brandy, girl next door. Yeah, I ain't never had sex, but you was with Kobe too. See, but that ain't up for Ray J to defend. This is 20, 30 years ago that you found out your sister was out there in them streets, and my boy Tyrese. But now that was a problem. Now I'm like this. I will defend my sister if it's face to face. If you come and talking some mess about my sister, I'll die for my little sister. But they are celebrities. That stuff is public record, been talked about before. Now Ray J just crashing out because he want the clicks and views. Y'all know Ray J ain't gonna bust a goddamn grape.
Afro agnostics.
I just want to thank Walk on the behalf of all women out there for giving them another lesson that they need to learn.
Yes.
I think that, like he said, they were just talking they were just talking about, I think, a related subject, and it kind of got brought up inadvertently, like, oh, you were dating around the same time. They overlap.
Dating. Yeah. It wasn't necessarily about smashing.
And I think Shine implied that there was more of may not involve smashing, but there was more of a romantic layer to the relationship. She denied it. She has denied things before because she wants to take on this pristine, kind of like angelic, virginist type of. But the question is, why?
She killed somebody.
That's too.
Your words.
Because in the industry, if people in male-dominated societies like the one we live in, promiscuity is a privilege, a male privilege. So when women are promiscuous, they get boo-hooed, they get called, what Walk said, being a thought and stuff like that. And it's really trying to just preserve that privilege just for males. But anyway, that whole thing. But as far as and then look at his response, very masculine. It sounds very similar to that Tyson when he fought when he was fighting Holyfield, not Holyfield, but Lennox Lewis. I'll fuck you, I'll bend you over, I'll make you my bitch. That's basically what Ray J is. And that's some crazy shit, but it's real. It happens and occurs in prison. It's because it's really all about domination. It just has a sexual layer to it. When Suge Knight made them folks drink that pee, that urine, that was actually a sexual offense. That could be charged as such. A lot of this stuff we but anyway, that's my little small take on it.
Let's do the next.
Bro, I don't got nothing to say after that. You know what I mean? I don't even know where to go with it, but
well, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna get you. You're gonna get an early bite when we talk about Kenyon. But go ahead.
Stay out, ladies. Stay out them streets. Be a real life Brandy. Don't be like behind the scenes, because that stuff will come out to haunt you. It ain't about being sexist or not. You see the backlash that's coming from her. A lot of these chicks and new artists, they getting taken by these older gentlemen right now, being flown out, and that's going to embarrass them later. So just be sweet and rock and roll and keep them legs closed. Don't be like Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj was not giving it up to the whole industry. That's why she made it so far. Oh, that was a good
one. Again, Brandy,
basically.
Brandy was
being celebrated for doing it. Am I lying?
Yeah, she was a grown up. She was a grown up adult doing adult things. And again, as far as I know, it was dating. Dating is whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Dating is fucking.
It's not necessarily.
It
isn't. It maybe for you, but I'm just saying that not everybody gets hooks up with somebody that they're dating, especially back then. So that's what it was. I will not. I will not besmirch her.
You can't fuck them unless you date them.
So that having been said, salute Sister Brandy. You know what I'm saying? So then let's talk about Kenyon Martin. Okay, so Kenyon Martin, he was on a show. They basically he stopped the show. Really didn't have nothing to do with this, to basically put a civilian on blast because they kind of made a joke about him. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, to me, I thought it was like they say hurt people. This, to me, just established how super hurt he was. And I just felt like, look, brother, this is something that you should address him directly. You don't derail a whole show to go after, and I don't mean this to mean, when I say civilian, you know what I'm saying? It's not like celebrities are greater than other, but, you're on a celebrity on a, you know, you're basically on a show. You know what I'm saying? You're doing something that is basically public, and to me, you took it to a real private pace to attack person who's basically like a grip. You know what I'm saying? Like a cameraman. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, to me, that was a super violation. I'm a Student X. I'm gonna go to you first, and then I'll go to you, Brother Walk. So what you got to say about this, Mr. Student X?
Yeah, you know, I think that, you know, he had a good reason to be mad, but, you know, I didn't think it was all that serious, you know, to bring it up, you know, and the way he did, you know, and during that show, he showed himself to be vulnerable, and you know, and it's like, dude, you know, that's not even necessary right there. That could have been done behind the scenes, you know what I mean? Kept it pushing, you know, it would have been a better look, you know, but, you know, it was something he felt like he needed to get off his chest. So, you know, hey, it is what it is.
Brother Walk.
I agree with that. Like, I mean, I don't know how humble I could have been if that was me and you sitting there talking about me. I probably would have clowned you some more, like, yo, Kenyon Martin, you talk like you got a tomato in your damn mouth. That's what he talked like. That brother was real humble. He wanted to slap that damn hat off his head, like, fuck you. I'm out of here. I quit. But it was totally unnecessary to put him on blast behind a joke he made behind the scenes. So what? Okay, you know you got a speech impediment. People have to lighten up. I have been roasted clown. The thing to do is to laugh with the joke. That's what you got to do. That neutralizes the damn joke. Kenyon Martin, get your shit together. You wasn't that good on the court, and you ain't that good at podcasting either.
Ouch. Afro.
I don't know, man. Walk's kind of swaying me to his opinion. At first, I thought like he was like because he said he was reciprocating energy. Dude called him or clowned him in the public. I don't know, but now you're saying it was private behind the scenes. I don't know, but he said he clowned him publicly, so he wanted to reciprocate and do it publicly. So I don't know. He felt very offended. He said that was a sensitive area for him. I think we all have sensitive areas. And he clearly laid out what his was. He was being vulnerable, up front, and open about it. I think he should have respected that and not have done that. You know, because that is a disability, something that he can't control. And on top of that, man, you don't bite the hand that feeds you, right? He's in some type of subordinate role to him. So I don't know. Walk was kind of swayed me the other way too. I don't know.
Yeah, bro. And, you know, and let's hit this one thing before we go to commercial. Let's talk about this. So Mystikal has pleaded guilty for rape, and I mean, you know, that's pretty much it. That brother is going to get some time. It's an ugly situation. Brother Walk, you got something to say about it?
Okay, I know what he gonna say. He right on this. He right on this before he even go there. But my boy,
wait. Hey, so what you say before he even talked? Let me just. Hey, this is for Alpha Agnostic before he even speaks. Go ahead, Walk.
My boy, Mystikal, you got a problem. Jail is exactly where his ass needs to be. I'm sorry to say, I'm a huge Mystikal fan. I'm from New Orleans. I was born in New Orleans, baby. Don't get me started on top of Tulis Magazine, bitch. Okay, but how you get 2 rape convictions, brother? You gotta pass that first time with the craziness, and people wanted you to do good. You did a lot of times 6 years, and they figured you're gonna get out, just make some good music. But it happens again. This don't happen twice to normal people, bro. Lock him up. Throw away the fucking key. I don't even want to hear Michael Tyler no more. I don't want to hear that name no more. It's over. Good riddance.
All right. There you go, brother. Afro Agnostics. You got the floor. Go and earn that horn.
No, I mean, if you know, when you have a couple of fish that are diseased, you know, you kind of like something's wrong with those individual fish. But when you have a whole batch and it's a reoccurring problem over and over on a large level, you have a social problem. Something's in the water. And I think with Mystikal had sexual assault cases in 2003, 2012, 2017, 2022. Same pattern, same person. But after 2003, the first conviction, he was continued touring. He had performances, social media, and TV appearances. His career never fully stopped. And that's an example of rape culture. People normalizing it, minimalizing it, and not calling them out. And, but we get real strong and reactive, in response to it. But, we have to think as men and self-examine, what are we doing to contribute to it? And what are we doing to stop it? We call ourselves protectors, but oftentimes we are protecting the accused. When we bring up Megan, or we bring up, even I know the first response to this, to the Cesar Chavez thing was to attack the Lotus Huerta. It was, like this pattern. We're going to attack the victim and protect the accuser. So I think, man, us as men, we got to become real protectors and prevent this from happening, because it's us. We're looking at him individually, but 90 to 99% of all rapes are carried out by men. So, if that were trans women, or if that was a particular ethnic group, we would say, hey, they need to take responsibility. Something is wrong with that group. But anyway, that's my thoughts.
All right, go ahead, student next. I know you ain't gonna be taking that. You might be muted. I can't tell. I got this. Let me pull this thing down. Sorry.
Nothing to do with Mystikal's mindset and those like him, and in terms of holding him accountable, we have a system here, and he's being held accountable. And that's how it's supposed to be right there. But to blame this on a larger set of men, I totally disagree with your. You always want to cite that 99% of rapes are done by men. That's not true. It's not true. That's a whole different subject, but Mystical don't represent me as a man, don't represent manhood. Men don't take coochie. You know what I'm saying? We don't do that. Now there are some who are men that do that, but then, that's not accepted behavior among men, something that we lift up, and that we have part of the ethos, at all. It's quite the opposite. It's to protect and grow civilization, protect our women and children. That is what men do. And anyone that goes contrary to that is less than the man.
Okay, I'm just saying, so 1 out of every 3 women are raped. We're not doing a good job of protecting. When they want to reduce rape in prison, they do particular things, and they have done those things in different prisons to reduce rape. So my question is not what rapists are doing. We know that all men are not doing that, but what are the non-rapists doing to prevent rape from happening? And I think
there's only one way to deal with it, and that is we have to pass stronger laws against people who rape people. And that will curb it. If we had death penalty, then it's been curbed. But guess who doesn't have a stomach for that? The left. Those liberal people, like yourself, and who are lean that way. You guys don't want death penalty. So that's what it is.
Kind of cut me off there, but my point is this right here. So you were bringing up my point, rape primarily something that men do. So you deny this, folks out there. You can look at the statistics on violent crime, and you can see for yourself that men dominate 80 to 89%, or 90 to 99%, depends on how you calculate it. They carry out the most rapes. So I'm saying us as men is
I'll go with the most. I'll go with the most. That's fine. But this subject's not about rape. I want to go ahead and get to the commercial break so we get to the real nitty gritty, which starts with who Cesar, which comes in. The rape is going to come right back to it. You know what I mean? So
65220. Student X. So you're jumping over them, but you talked about punishment. It's not just a punishment. It's prevention and discouragement. But go ahead, let him have one sentence. If you will.
Bro, he's been talking for 5 minutes on this topic right here.
But brother, let him. Hey, brother, let him have one sentence. Go ahead.
I haven't.
Go to commercial.
Every time I start, you put me
off. Just go ahead. You got the floor. It is true. You're doing it right now. Stop.
Yeah, I'm doing it right now. Because it's ridiculous, brother. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. It's ridiculous.
Student X. Just let him make this sentence, and then we're gonna go commercial.
Bro, you wasting more time than everybody. Nice, you know what I'm saying? Afro, get what you got to say on your chest. Let's move on. Let's go.
Student X, you the one that's talking.
Mr. Cole raped somebody. He does not represent all men. Straight up. Anyone who's gonna argue that, is ridiculous. You know what I mean? A Mystical does not represent me as a man. Now if he represent you as a man, that speak
Go ahead, Afro Agnostic. Do your sentence, brother.
Okay. All I want to say, my point is that Mystikal, after he committed these rapes, multiple rapes, he was still able to get work. And that is an example of rape culture. Men supporting other men, even though they don't do the quote unquote men thing. And the typical non-rapist men were doing that, supporting him, giving him jobs, having him invite on the show so they can get the clicks and get the money. That's not principled behavior. That's all I'm saying. That is rape culture. That's patriarchy. Men protected men.
No, it's not, brother. First of all, you have to know if the brother is a rapist. You know what I mean? So if I'm looking to pick someone that does music, bring him on, on my show, then and I see Mystikal and he's on there, and I don't know that this is what he does. You know what I mean? I invite him on my show. How the hell do I know that? Now in his organization, his inner circle, we could charge them with being someone who is co-conspirators in this grander conspiracy. You know what I mean? But we can't sit there and put it on, all of manhood. You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't booking him shows with knowledge of him being a serial rapist. Doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? So like I said, institutions, we're going to get into it with Julio Cesar Chavez in a moment too. You know what I mean? Is this an institutional thing or is this a manhood thing? It's like, come on, man. It's real simple. You can't put this on all the men.
Wait, first of all, he's not blaming all men for doing this.
Right, he's the patriarchy, bro. When someone says the patriarchy, that's blaming manhood, bro.
Student next. That's just like you blaming all the left. That's just like blaming Jews or anti-Zionists. But my point, that's my point. He's not doing that to all that. He's saying that it's the burden who should do something about it. But let's save that. Let's go to this.
Let's
go to the commercials. Yeah, let's go to the commercials.
It's a society problem.
That's for all your trucking needs. If you need something delivered from the East Coast to the West Coast, North Coast to the South Coast, to wherever and all points in between, La Brea Trucking. Look up the phone number, play the commercial, see what's up. That's what's up. Salute. La Brea Trucking. And that's gobealive.org. Go get you some of that black honey. And if you want it in person, go to the Petty Vice in Venice or to the Afro City Marketplace at the Crenshaw Mall. Salute, Sister Nidra.
Scoreboard, Sacramento. I don't know the exact location, but I have been there. It was fly. I didn't see that many beautiful women. That's one discrepancy I will say. But it was fly. It was cool. We had a good time. I kicked ass on pool. I was talking shit all night. Salute to the Scoreboard. Bring your own gun.
Oh my goodness.
Focus Up Network. Salute. Membership. Salute. Appreciate you.
All right, that's what's up. Yeah, we just ignore that part, that last part that from Brother Walk. But all right, let's talk about.
I got a wild out when Floyd X ain't here. I got to act the fool. I got it.
So Cesar Chavez. Okay, so you know what? I think I'm gonna let you set the table for this Afro agnostics. What's going on with the situation with Cesar Chavez?
Cesar Chavez, founder of United Farm Workers, a lot of great work in the way of, economic empowerment for Latino and coming out of San Jose. And in fact, my girlfriend, she was a student of Dolores Juarez, who was also the co-founder of United Farm Workers. But anyway, recent revelations have come out that as powerful men do, often they get away with it, and because they get protection by other men. And apparently, he was involved with some minors, underage teenagers, like other people, leaders that we know. And he was also the father of Dolores Juarez, her 2 sons. So this information that came out, I think, is very, very credible. I think, we can still use allegedly just to be objective as possible. But when the United Farm Workers themselves see celebration of Cesar, they must have a lot of evidence. And when the Newsom, the state and the city of LA do things to denounce or to end their, celebration of him in his name. But that's the backdrop. I don't know if you want me to talk about. I'll let folks go around.
Yeah, so that's definitely what's going on here. And then I was just
that's not what's going on here, brother, at all. So what's going on here is that New York Times came out. They're about to drop an article that they said took them 5 years to put together. And 5 years to put in this day and age to put together an article sounds more like an op than an investigation to me. And so this op gets put together, and then out the blue, like in succinct fashion, is dropped on the public, and then and the majority of public, of course, no one's ever heard of these allegations ever. The man's been dead for 30 years. They've never popped up, and so already right off the bat, what we heard Afro say was that men were protecting. No, that's not what we're seeing here. It's actually the exact opposite, because if these allegations are true, who his protector was more than anybody was Dolores Herrera. A woman. In this situation, but what the article really does is it does bring out 2 people, that talk about two women who say that when they were younger, that they were allegedly raped by this man. Now in terms of credible evidence, okay, we have 2 women who are alleged rape against a dead man for the last 30 years. That right there, I want to call credible. That's an allegation at best, is what we have. Now, what the story centered on and was focused on was his involvement with other women, and apparently, brother was a player. He was, he apparently was absolutely involved with other women. Now, Dolores Herrera herself, she's was involved with other men, including marrying his brother, and went on to have 4 children with Mr. Chavez's brother, and overall she had 11 children that she claimed, but the 2 that she said that she had with, Chavez was hidden. So there's 13 children in all that she's had. So there are plenty of contradictions in this, but I just wanted to go ahead and retort, some of what was already presented, and so we'll move on to everybody else, what they got to say about this.
Brother Walk. Well, actually, you know what, Mr. Floyd X, you popped in. I'm assuming you particularly have something that you want to lend to this.
Yeah, I want to speak on it. My Wi-Fi looked like it was good, so I'm trying to hopefully everything goes well. But this Cesar Chavez thing messed me up, man. I always respected that, that's the Latinos or the Mexicans hero or somebody to look up to, and the story, it appears to be real, and California is moving swiftly. At least California institutions is moving swiftly to remove his name. They got
we should probably check in on Trump.
That's being covered up. They're going to quickly rename everything to the United Farmers Worker. It's just sad to see this happening. He was the woman, the Dorothy Huerta was the one that helped cover it up. That's a real thing, because the children found out this year that was their father, and she's like 80-something years old.
100.
Are y'all there? Can y'all hear me? Everything good?
Yeah, everything's good. Everything's good. Go ahead, Brother Walk. Got some. Were you finished?
Hey, that's super foul.
Go ahead. One more point. It was a 12-year-old and a 15-year-old who was that he touched. I know the brother said allegedly, but a 12-year-old and a 15-year-old is what he was also being accused. And nobody within the United Farm Workers is denying it. Nobody that was on the inside of people that was there. So to me, it's a bygone decision, and I don't even know if I can respect it because they should have said something years ago. But at least they got to the point where they're not trying to defend the wrong. I'm done right there.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Walt.
Good stuff. I think this is sort of like Bill Cosby. This is like women coming from 50 years ago, 30 years ago, talking about he did this, he did that. I'm relating this to the same type of thing because I have never heard any type of allegations against Cesar Chavez. And now they're talking about removing all this historical stuff that we have in Los Angeles. We got Cesar Chavez Jr. Boulevard. Like, come on, quit playing. What are they gonna do? Stop the street? That's my street. I get my tacos off L5 taco truck. Straight up. But that's not cool. It's totally disgusting because I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna keep it 100. I went through a situation like this where a chick accused me of something, never touched her, never had sex, nothing ever happened, and we never kissed anything. And she went to the police, said that I raped her. And yeah, straight up, it was a straight up lie. Of course I beat it and stuff like that. Now I was broke as hell living with my mom and daddy. What do you think they're gonna do with Cesar Chavez and Tupac and guys like this? This is a problem where women are doing this, Mr. Afro. You know what I'm saying? So how you gonna stop that? Just like you can't stop a man from actually raping a woman, you can't stop a chick from actually making up lies and allegations, brother. Yo, salute to Cesar Chavez. Viva Chavez. Viva Chavez.
You know, the thing about it is, you talk about your personal experience, and I respect that, Walk. That's something that you experience. And I know the Student X has a personal experience that's somewhere along that lines. That's a real personal experience. I get that. But my personal experience is I've talked to several females in confidence about them being raped. They've never said nothing about it. The bottom line is for whatever reasons, you know what I'm saying? They just didn't do it. So we know that happens. We want to talk about besmirching someone who's dead. We know that Thomas Jefferson got a whole bunch of black children. Why is that? I mean, we understand that raping has been something that's been actually occurring and going on, and people that don't have the power to stand up, that don't have the ability to fight it, Epstein, you know what I'm saying, that this stuff happens. So I'm just saying that I understand that you guys got your real situation, and we know that there are people that make up this stuff, but we should not be using this to just basically attack every single instance of people coming forward. These are multiple people coming forward. This is actually credible, and the fact that everybody is just basically just like stepping to the side, it just shows you that look.
How is it credible?
No, that's not true.
So
you charging me to walk with use our own situations and that's being blurred our ideas on this? Is that what you're saying?
Hey, Student X, is it credible that Martin Luther King was sleeping with a prostitute?
I mean, anything and everything is possible. I didn't
talk about that though.
I didn't say it was
deflections.
It's not a deflection.
I never heard no allegations with that brother.
You never heard of it.
I've never heard no allegations.
Afro, have you ever heard of it?
I want to come back to the topic when you guys are ready.
The topic. The point that I'm making is that people that can do good things can also do bad things too. It doesn't take away from the good.
I don't disagree with that.
That's my whole point. So that's why it's relevant. My point is that look, just because someone does these, there's a saying that says, "Don't meet your heroes." Why do they say that? Why is this saying "Don't meet your heroes"? Because a lot of times,
because people aren't perfect.
Exactly. So that's my point. So my point is that we don't have to deify that the fact that this dude contributes to a lot of good things.
Can I just say something really quick too? You made some very good points, but I think the main point that needs to be made, and then folks can branch off from there. We can go whichever way. Is that women are raped in the United States at a rate of over 33, 34%. Those are reported rapes. And most of these allegations do end up, being verified as true. So, Walt brought up Bill Cosby. You can bring up many more names. Why? Because there's a long list of names of men that are doing that. When they started off doing that in the past, the culture since then has changed. And I understand this is why a lot of men are fighting back for masculinity, because they feel it's fading away. But a part of that masculinity is the minimization of consequences for things like rape. A lot of my heroes in music, art, politics have done this. It hurts me. I hate to see it as well. But I think, we got to get off of protecting their legacy and reputation and do more about protecting the victims and think more about prevention and think about more of ourselves as men, because it's mostly men that are doing it. So that means that it's our sons, our uncles, it's our fathers, it's our fellow men in our communities, in our churches. We need to set up a program, because in prison, I think men see it differently. They're very concerned about rape because it happens, I think, at a rate of 5%, which is less than 1/6 of the rate that it happens to women outside of prison. So women are living in the type of fear that we don't experience and we don't know. So we men have to come together. How can we not punish and give consequences? That's after the fact. But how can we prevent it? And I think one way we can do that is by looking self-examination, looking at ourselves. How do we support it? Because if we're not supporting it, it wouldn't happen. So we do it inadvertently.
You ain't supporting no fucking rape.
It's not. Yeah, you're not supporting rape. You're supporting rape culture.
You're not supporting rape. But we just an example. Let me give you an example. All through this dialogue here.
I know how to. Are me after you? Let's decide that real quick. So and we let brother finish.
Wait, let me. I'm rape.
Okay, then I'm gonna go after Walk. Go ahead, brother Afro. Finish it.
Let me get a zoom in.
Oh, I can say my last sentence, and he said, "Go ahead and finish."
But it's gonna be more than one. I guarantee you.
Give me a sentence.
Okay, no, I just wanted to say. So when I, damn, what did he just say? I forgot what he said, but that just prevention, man. So when I say that it's our responsibility, or what did I say? That when
men need to stop other men and accept accountability for the rapings that's happened throughout the world.
This is a quick sentence, because we enable it and minimize it and normalize it. That's the role we play, not protecting actual rapists, but the rape culture. That's what I mean.
All right, brother Walk, go ahead.
Let me get a zoom in, please. This is the only way you could. This is rape prevention right here. Who's first? It ain't gonna be me. Ignacio, you talking about it's your brothers and your sisters and our family and all that shit that's raping the women. Prevent rape. You first, brother. Come get these. Chop it off.
All right.
Yeah. So there's so much. There's so much here.
Penetration is one type of sexual assault. I mean, that doesn't end sexual assault.
Still, yeah. All right. Let's do it. We don't have a whole bunch of time, so let's focus on this. So, student X, go ahead. What are you gonna say?
Yeah. So I want to before I address everything that brother was saying, let me go back again to the article. So this again, 5 years. This is a op. 5 years they put this together, and then the reason why, to answer Brother Floyd's question and whoever else had this question, why everyone's just doing this all succinctly, because this is the UFW is a Democrat and liberal control, and so all the politicians and whatnot that is lined up on this, Herrera, she is a politician. So no one, the only people that's been holding Herrera to her feet to the fire is her own community. So there's a brother right here in Stockton, who his name is Montezuma Patrick, and he put out a series of posts, because he actually knows the children, out of wedlock, with Chavez that Dolores Herrera has. So there's no doubt that he fathered some children. He was engaged, with other women. No one's is arguing that. What's coming out the blue is the allegations of rape, because again, in all his years and the 30 years after, these have not come up. So to go to Afro's point is, if a woman is not saying that she has been harmed, to 30 years, 40, 60, 70, 100 years later, then there will be no holding anybody accountable. So, first of all, there needs to be a change in the fact that, if there is, especially today, I don't believe there's an excuse at all. If you have someone who is raped you, sexually harm you, then the authorities need to be contacted. I'm not going to say ASAP, But my God, you know what I mean, sooner than 60 goddamn years, you know what I mean, we got to do it before then, you know what I mean? Otherwise, it doesn't hold the same credibility, at all, especially when the guy is dead.
I agree.
You know what I mean? So no, this does not hold in any type of way. And then, like I said, going back into what this gentleman was saying is that it's no, and the rest of the community, because there's been plenty of Latinas and others that's been signed off on the fact that no one liked Herrera. She is looked at as a sellout. She was calling her own people, all type of derogatory names on a regular basis. She was known as someone who was chasing after other people's husbands.
That has very little thing to do. That has very little to do
with this article inside the New York Times. It doesn't bring up all of that. You know what I'm saying? So if we're going to bring it all out, Brother Floyd, Ralph White in this what the gentleman was talking about there in Stockton, he was saying that Ralph White had screamed out during the campaign when they were running against each other, that Herrera, got, children by Chavez, out of wedlock. People thought he was crazy then, and this was years ago. So like I said, this has been, I didn't know about it. I just started finding out because I was exchanging with some of my fellow friends, among them with some Latinas, and then one of her friends had said, look, man, you got to go read this book. So when I went and read the book, that she recommended, the book is called Si Ella Puede, the rhetorical legacy of Dolores Herrera. And they went and studied everything. As I started reading it, I discovered the motive. The motive was clear, as day, when I started going through
speculating the motive. Speculating the motive. I'm just saying.
It's a lot of speculation. It's okay. It's a lot of speculation.
If you're reading a book for somebody, it's not speculated.
Well, first of all, you read
somebody wrote a book about it.
Yeah, you talk about somebody. Wait, so Mr. Floyd X, you're saying that someone writes a book about something. There's this is the reason why somebody else did something.
Let me give you the background. So the book is the rhetorical legacy of Dolores Herrera. So it takes all of her writings and then her essays and what she said, and then of course they was also in contact with her for this book, and then they made it a course of study, for a Latinx, classes and for scholars and whatnot. It's a serious book. It was really analyzing, her and the whole 9 yards, and when I started going through it, man, it was amazing at what she was saying. So look, I just briefly read my statement that I read to the lady after she referred the book to me. I dove into the book. I said, I appreciate the perspective on the Chicana Latina woman in the male-dominated movement, highlighting her under-recognized contribution. It seemed to be tailored for graduate students, professors, and researchers in rhetoric, Latina OX studies, women's history, and labor movements. However, I discovered motive from Ms. Herrera. The book argues that Herrera's rhetorical legacy has been overshadowed by Chavez's iconic status, despite her equal or greater, I believe she feels, organizational and public-facing contributions. And chapters 3 and 4 that reference her symbiotic relationship between Chavez, that he had faith in her as a woman leader, the children stayed with his family. I was confused because 7 years later at the publish, the new allegations reframed this as a relationship marked by manipulation, pressure, forced sex in the context where she felt she couldn't say no because he was her boss and a movement icon. I'm not sure what to believe, but I'm doing a deep dive into this, and you help me in this effort. You know what I mean?
So that sounds like an opinion from his research.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
that was me responding to her.
Exactly. Unless you're Professor X, you don't know what anybody's motivation to do anything.
I didn't say I knew what it was, but I said possible motive.
You agreed that it was speculation, and my point is that it's speculation.
Everything about this is speculation. You know what I mean?
But these are about accusations. These are about accusations of rape and molestation. You can talk about speculation, what the motivation is, but directly, it's an accusation of rape and molestation. That's what's on its face. That's what I'm saying.
If I rob a bank, you ain't got to read my mind to know why I robbed that bank, bro. Quit playing, man.
Like I said, and
Wait, you don't know what the person is. You person can be like, hey, all right, this is what
I'm going about what we do know.
What
we do know is this has never been a thing.
I'm gonna rock with his hypothetical. Someone can be like, look,
Outrage.
you're gonna rob this bank, or else I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna take your kids. You're gonna rob this bank from me. I'm gonna shoot your kids. So yes, you don't know what's going on in that person's head. That's how it works.
Again, you're making a red herring. I'm not claiming to know what's going on in someone's head.
You aren't doing it. I'm not talking about you.
What I do know is that she's not trusted about her community. Hereda is what I'm talking about, and that this whole story is suspect. The whole story is suspect in reaping of errors, and the fact that we have this universal, among the Democrats and liberals, and now, I mean, what's next? You know how many people's names? Cesar Chavez? Everybody gonna change their name now too? You know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
You're talking about Democrats. You're talking about liberals and Democrats and Republicans. I'm not talking about none of that. I'm talking about.
I'm talking about why this came out and like it.
You're talking about speculation. I'm talking about the straight, direct reporting of what someone's saying. Someone is accusing these people of rape, and they're accusing these children are testifying to the fact that this person touched them. So that's what I'm saying. To you talking about these politics and all of this spinning. I'm saying you're not even taking the most important thing head on. You're taking on something that.
Right. So hold up. I'm not even done. So first of all, I'm talking about. So now in terms of let's say because I don't know, it could be true because like you said, some people don't report things and whatnot, but like I said, the fact that what I'm looking for still and what others are is searching for at any time where it was any clues or circumstances, because the article doesn't focus on the rape. The article just says, look, we got the allegations, this is what that is. It focuses on that he was messing with a bunch of women within the movement. And so it was really to discredit him. That's what the article was dealing with more than anything. Yeah, we had two people that's been two grown women now, 66 years old, that says that they were raped by Chavez long ago. We got those two things, but then like I said, the majority of the article is about other women that he was dealing with. You see what I'm saying? So, like I said, the motives.
That's not the only source. Go ahead.
And that's a familiar pattern. They did it with Martin Luther King. Come familiar pattern.
But they actually got it recorded with Martin Luther King. It's actual fact. In Spike Lee movie with Spike Lee X, they talk about Malcolm X. They go, this dude is a saint compared to Martin Luther King. But go ahead, please. You've had a lot of time to speak, Student X. Please let Afro acknowledge you interrupted.
Yeah, so I mean, just to speak on the men overshadowing the women in the movement, if you read any books that I see, you read that book with Dolores, she mentions that, but that's also mentioned by every Black woman activist book that I've ever read. I've come into contact with numerous activists from the Black Liberation Movement, from Black Power Movement, and they all have the consensus is the same thing, that they made very large contributions. They were overshadowed by men. I think the Black church is just an example of that, largely carried by women congregation, but led strongly by men. I mean, we know that dynamic, so of course that's going to come up. And this is not like who made the biggest contribution contest. They both have, and I just want to say that. You can separate the institution. I think United Farm Workers are doing a good job for that. They're continuing the work. It lives on. You cannot talk about the UFW without talking about Cesar. It's impossible. But at the same time, we quick to give credit to men, but when it comes to the bad behavior, we think it taints their legacy. The movement itself is bigger than the individual. He made some mistakes. Acknowledge those mistakes. Acknowledge the greatness that the person produced. I mean, this is the same with Elijah Muhammad as an example. When I even put that out in the thread, the natural instinct, knee-jerk masculine response is to attack the person. But I mean, it's fact. He was involved with teenage girls. There's paternity lawsuits to testify to that. He kept it hidden. He kept it hidden from his wife. He kept it hidden from the public. I mean, we know it's a similar example. Cesar did it in the secular world. He did it as a religious leader, Elijah Muhammad, but it's the same pattern. But we can still value the Nation of Islam and the contributions that they make. We can do both things.
Elijah Muhammad particularly, definitely.
Yeah, the reason we want to expose it so we can discontinue it, that's part of prevention, is exposing it. But when the knee-jerk response is to attack and to protect, and deny and attack the accuser when obviously the evidence lies on that he did, because why would his very own organization and institutions just so easily just fall back? They love Cesar Chavez. I know
that's easy to explain.
in the United Farm Worker who love him. They shedding tears. You know what I'm saying? But the important thing is the institution that he established lives on and still does the work.
So that having been said, that we died on this hill. I was trying to, one of the reasons why I was saying, if you guys want to contribute to this is going to basically take away the discussion to the other things, but it was a very spirited conversation. You guys put some good information out there, and I do want to commend Student X Points. To me, this is not about an accusation. This is about a burden. Females need to speak up. You just can't sit on this information. It will bring in credibility issues into play by sitting on it. But what's going to help people hold people accountable quickly is speaking up on it. The bottom line, we understand that it's a tough thing to do. We understand that there's fearful, but there is a burden to speak up and address all these terrible things that happen so that we can address them. Because if we don't know about them, we don't know about them. So again, I salute that point wholeheartedly. That haven't been
very
said.
clever by the players involved here. Because like I said, that we're never gonna know, because this man can't be called to the witness stand now. The whole 9 yards. So very clever. I give him credit on that, but I don't believe
that's again. And I get it, but you're dismissing
lying.
the people that are telling you.
Part. Like the Democratic,
we all know the NYT. The NYT is not. I don't consider the NYT a credible news organization myself. You know what I mean?
This information, just because they're reporting it, this isn't the source of all this information.
Known for propaganda. Known for propaganda. You know what I mean? Known for it. So
hold on. This leads into
like I said, it's an out. This was an out. I'm convinced of it. Just in my research.
That's your position.
I understand it. I know, because you buy into those conspiracies.
I think this is a perfect
you and Walker
segue
predisposed to disbelieve female victims. You know what I'm saying? As far as it, because you guys have a real ugly situation that was affected you. I get that. You guys were wrong.
First of all, don't put that on me, bro. Don't put that on me, because first of all,
it is. It colors your perspective.
You know what I mean? And guess what? I didn't see it in all type of ways. So, like I said, it's irrelevant. You know what I mean? That doesn't even shape my understanding on this. That shapes why I became a men's advocate.
Student X. Are more women being raped, actually being raped through the course of history? Have more people been raped than women falsely accused them of being raped? I'm just asking you a question. This is your guess. It's a guess. I'm asking you for a guess. It's not a stupid question.
How do you qualify that?
I'm asking you. I'm
asking you. We didn't talk about Iran at all.
Student X. All I'm asking you is, what do you guess? Do you think?
I don't know, bro. I honestly don't know. I know for a fact that men are more. If you look at it from the dawn of time, you know what I mean? There's been plenty of periods of time where there were barbarism and everything. I'm sure and know that, women have been harmed far more than men have been harmed by other women. You know what I mean? But now,
that's my point. That's my point.
Yeah. Okay, but let's. I think this is a good segue into the Netanyahu is dead.
It's not right. This don't have that way. He got raped. You know what I'm saying, brother? And that either you believe it or you don't. You know what I mean? It was very clever. Go ahead.
Conspiracy theory.
But again, I was actually.
I don't know. I don't know. But do I believe he's dead? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But can I definitively say the man's dead? No. But I think he gone.
So that haven't been said.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, I was going to end it because, again, I don't think we got enough time for this. But if you want something, you want to say something, hey, I'll give you and walk the floor. What do you think? Do you think Netanyahu is alive? Do you have Netanyahu
cut off?
No. You ask it. Do you think he's alive or dead?
I think chop your penis off if you want to prevent rape completely. Rape prevention.
Or the penis. That's penal. That's penal. Yeah, that's the only way to complete. And that's the issue about diminishing returns. That's the reason why it's an issue when you only have 2% issues with fraud voting, but you want to do all this ridiculous stuff.
Nah, bro, I'll tell you what ridiculous is. Ridiculous is like here in California, where we have a prison board who just came up with an elderly release program, and they're letting out 50, 60-year-old, rapists, violent rapists, trying to let them out on the street. And we as a community is having to fight back, to stop these deranged, Democrats and liberals in our damn state for acting wild. You know what I'm saying? And come up with these dumbass policies. That's stupid. You know what I mean? And that's what we're dealing with. And again, that's who's pushing the whole narrative behind Chavez, being a child abuser.
Only Democrats and liberals are being deranged.
If you want to say that, you can say that. But I'm asking you. Because you say that out there. You don't think that stupidity and derangement isn't coming from the other side too? No, of course not. I just gave you an example. So give me an example of, you're talking about men and women, trying to stop rape culture. More men are on the side of stopping rape culture that are not part of these institutions, especially Democrats, because we're saying, like Walk is saying, that if a man is found credibly to have harmed a child, or a woman, and that against their will, then we are to have a harsh, severe punishment for that man, and we won't have to worry about that. Whether it's cutting off, whatever, castration, whatever. That's what we're saying. But our politicians are doing something totally different.
Punishment only attacks one leg. Yeah, punishment is not.
That's what you said. Strong law is absolutely prevention. Some people still might do it, but then it acts as a deterrent.
And most
another deterrent is actually proper counseling and dealing with people and stuff like that. So
people are watching their children, there's a lot of things that could go into play. For sure.
Exactly. So that's why it's not just the burden of the prison punishment.
That's why it's not on men alone, and that's why it's ridiculous to suggest. It's a society that we have to come together and decide on, do we want to protect children or not protect children? The liberals and on the left and those that's crying about the patriarchy, they're not trying to protect children.
Student X, who runs society? Who runs society? Men or women?
Right. And this society right here is men and women. Because that's the type of government we have. That's the type of institutions that we have. Is men and women. Look at California. Look at California.
Look at the United States of America. It's being run by Trump, Republicans, whatever. What's being done about Epstein? Anyways, that haven't been said.
Not enough.
Share, subscribe again. We understand
how much of the Congress is women.
This is an example why people don't come out. The Lord is. This is why it's 30 years, 60 years overdue.
Yeah, exactly.
You come out 30, 60 years later, there's going to be a problem for sure. You know what I mean?
The truth is the truth.
And if we could get to it, we got still people alive, then we're going to take it more credibly for sure.
So that having been said, like, share, subscribe. We appreciate your contributions. If you got something that you want us to talk about, drop it in the comments, drop it on the page, whatever. But again, we appreciate you. Thank you very much. And Mr. Nice Guy, Afro Agnostics, we're gonna have objective deconstruction.
We ain't talking about my boy. So I'm gonna try to come on real quick.
And also, I want to say, when you brought up that most men are against rape culture, most men, especially conservative men, do not even acknowledge the existence of rape culture.
Mr. Floyd X, you came on. I'm assuming you got something you want to say in closing?
No, I just want to be in the meeting when y'all finish.
All right, there we go. So thank you very much. Peace out.